to spray. You've got clover. Right now is the time to spray. Then the question is, what do I spray on my clover? See this question on Facebook forums all the time, and different groups and YouTube videos. You see people talk about spraying with a weakened down glyphosate, you know, less than a quart an acre or something like that. I think that just produces gly resistant weeds. And this little, about an eighth of an acre. And so in here, I did rye, oats, and wheat on top of brassicas last year with a little bit of clover, and then I frost seeded clover into here. The clover is doing pretty well, but a lot of grass competition from the rye, and then there's some wheat in here as well, but there's also some undesirable grasses growing, and which is killing my allergies. And I need to get all the grasses out. And there's chicory in here too. I frost seeded that. So this is going to be clover and chicory this year, and I want it to stay clover and chicory. So the only way to do that is two ways to do it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to spray it with clethodim, and then my hope is to come back later this summer after we've had some good weather and got a rain coming, and I'm going to mow it, and it will turn into an amazing stand of clover and chicory by the end of summer. But if I spray this with weakened glyphosate, I run the risk of killing my chicory, killing my clover. Don't want to do that. And the mowing will take care of the broadleaves. I need to get the grasses out. I need to get the rye out. So I've got 10 to 12 ounces of clethodim that I'm going to spray on this. I can usually do about one tank. It's about 13 gallons, 15 gallon tank, but I can only, by the time on this unlevel hill here, I can't get all 15 gallons out. So I get about 13 gallons out on an acre, but I'll put the whole thing on here. Calls for up to 16 ounces per acre, and I go about 5 miles an hour, and I know that 13 gallons at about between 5 and 7 miles an hour, depending on the terrain, will get me coverage for just about an acre. And this is a little less than an acre, so I think that 12, 13 ounces, 7 miles an hour should get me full coverage on all of this. But I may have to come back and spray it again later this summer. You can only do clethodim twice a year. I may have to come back and spray it again. You know, we'll pay attention to that and see. But the hope is to come back in probably August sometime to mow, is my guess, is when we'll get back to do it. Depends on what the weeds look like. If they start to take over again, I'll have to come back and mow it. And if I can't get the weeds under control, you know, then I will come in and I'll do Butarac 200, 2,4-DB. Not 2,4-D. 2,4-D will nuke all of your broadleaves. It'll kill all your chicory. It'll kill everything. It'll kill what's green in here. But 2,4-DB, Butarac 200, I don't have the mix ratio off the top of my head on that one, but if I have to, I'll come back in and spray 2,4-DB to get the broadleaves under control if I can't get in here to mow. I have to borrow a mower, so to get back in here with it. But if I can't get into mow, then I'll spray with clethodim and 2,4-DB later this summer, and we'll get the broadleaves under control, and then we'll see where we're at coming into fall if I have to dump any more clover onto this. And then further up there, I've got a whole big area cleared for greens this year. So half of this will be this mix of clover and chicory, and then that all the way around here will be a brassica mix with some extra tillage radish. And then I'll come in early September and I'll put down a mix of about 150 to 200 pounds of rye, wheat, and oats, and it'll look amazing. So if you're wondering what to spray, if you got clover growing, clethodim to get your grasses, Butarac 200 to do your broadleaves. But you can skip the Butarac if you've got an ability to mow. And honestly, you can probably mow out the grasses too, but I like to mow it once a year if I'm going to mow it. any more than that, I feel like I run the risk of mowing and then it getting droughted out and it's stunted and then it doesn't look good and it takes it till next year to kind of bounce back. So if I can avoid mowing to get grasses out, if I can spray the grasses out, see what happens with the broadleaves, I feel like that gives me a better chance. And then if I need to mow it or I need to spray Butarac, I can. But I like to just eliminate the weed competition from the grasses and then see where we're at in, you know, in a couple of months. But hey, what do I spray? Clethodim for grass, 2,4-DB Butarac 200 for your broadleaf weeds in your clover. You can do a rest and slay, but they're a bajillion dollars. I can get Butarac 200 and Clethodim, and I can get enough to do multiple years of my food plots at Tractor Supply, Rural King, Amazon is where I get Butarac 200. I can get enough to do all my plots for a few years for what I pay for like 1 acre of a rest or slay. Now they're a better product. I'll give it to them. They work really good, but cost efficiency. Look, I'm doing this with a 4-wheeler. I got my little handheld saw here to pull out some trees. I got a salt block I'm going to stick out. I mean, I don't have any need for, you know, for expensive stuff. I mean, look at it. The stickers, that thing's brand new and the sticker's already coming off. So again, Clethodim grasses, Butarac 200 for your broadleaf weeds. Mow it once in the summer and you'll have beautiful clover and usually chicory too.